Tip number 4, the last tip as we get to the end of the show, is be aware of your self-judgment. We've talked a lot about self-judgment in this episode. Oh, it's just so common. It's really a plague, I think. And, you have to be aware of your self-judgment and your self-talk. So many of us don't even realize how mean we are to ourselves because it's so automatic. Or, it's how we've, unfortunately, maybe our parents did it to themselves. And it's so tragic. So tip number 4 is just, again, we can't heal and change what you're not even aware of. So just pay attention to when you are mean to yourself. If on exercise number 2, where I told you to go check out your own anatomy and you're judging yourself, be aware of the words you say. When you're getting dressed, on tip number 3, the example I gave of how I picked out my outfit, if you're judging yourself, well, that makes me look fat or whatever, be aware. Just start with being aware. You don't even have to change it. We don't even have to reprogram it. You don't have to reframe it. You can do that, of course, if you want. But just being aware of how much you do it is very, very powerful and the first step. So, you know what? For the next week, please just start noticing and being aware of the thoughts that you're thinking in your head and the way that you're talking to yourself. Because I guarantee you'll probably be horrified at how negative a lot of it is. And also you can do something that I used to teach my clients and my students, that what I call the rubber band test. It's super low tech, which is how I love it. Is you just put an elastic band around your wrist, and every time you think of yourself in a bad way or negative way, or you're berating yourself, or you have a limiting thought, pull back that elastic band and bam, smack it on your wrist. Yep. It's going to hurt. But you know what? That's what you're doing to your spirit every time you have a negative, judgmental, limiting thought. That's what your spirit feels like. Okay? How would a baby feel like if you talked that way to a baby? It would be hurt, right? It would coil back. A little puppy, an animal, would be hurt. They'd coil back. Well, that rubber band test, it was going to hurt, but it's going to make you aware of what you're doing to your soul when you judge yourself, because soul, divine spirit, is love. It's unconditional love. We all know that, right? That's what, love is unconditional love. That's what God, spirit, creator, whatever it is, whatever you believe, the force that brought you here, the creative life force in you, the one that this show is about, is helping to liberate that life force in you, is love. And when you're judging yourself, you're not loving yourself. And that rubber band test will be a good wake-up call, a painful wake-up call for you to be aware of what you're doing to yourself. So please stop. Okay? So, all right. Let's see what else I want to say about that. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's all I really want to say about that. Oh, and you know what? Just on the judgment thing, I'll just add that, remember that judgment always involves a value-based analysis, okay? So when you label something as good or bad, right or wrong, fat or thin, or whatever the label may be, it involves an ethical and moral implication. And worst of all, it separates you from the divine love source, which is you. Because real love unites, right? That's why unconditional love is acceptance. And it's acceptance of all things. We just accept other people as they are. We're not trying to judge them. We're not trying to change them. We're not trying to tell them they're wrong, which is a judgment, right? They could be not for you. Doesn't mean you have to hang out with them. You don't have to approve. But loving someone is fully accepting. And acceptance is unifying. And love is inclusion. The feminine force includes all, right? Mother Earth includes all. It is all. And when we separate or, cut out pieces is a very, it can be a good thing, don't get me wrong, because that's the masculine focus, right? Focus narrows the vision. It cuts out all the distractions, which we all need to do. And maybe you're the kind of person who needs more focus. You need a little more masculine energy in that regard. But the feminine energy unites and includes all things. There's no separation. So judgments are separators, and whereas love allows and accepts. Wow, hey, I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I went a lot of places as I normally do because once I get going, I guess it's all related, isn't it? I mean, there's so many things that we can talk about that affect all these other things. But hey, if you enjoyed it, it just means so much to me. If you let me know and share the show, leave a review, it really, really helps. It would be your way of giving back to me if I helped you, and I really appreciate that. So until next time, I already can't wait to be with you again.